I'm writing a book these very days, and that's why I'm sort of busy on the Trinity. Trying to bring it together. But let's just look at it in that context. If if all of creation is created in the image and likeness of God, as Genesis says, then who is God? God is a relationship. God is an infinite communion. God is not an old man sitting on a throne, which is where most of us start. But the doctrine of the Trinity has not really had a strong influence on most of Christianity. We've got to just be honest about that. And that shows you how we're still at the early stages of Christianity, that we haven't unpackaged really our great mysteries. Now, I am getting to your question of sin. If God is the flow and the water wheel of love, as St. Bonaventure called it, is always in the same direction of love, outpouring love, endless love, infinite love, the water wheel only flows in one direction. So any talk of negativity, wrath, anger, judgmentalism in God, once you go to the Trinity, that's theologically absurd. God can't be angry. Love only flows in one direction. Now, can God, the way a parent, I don't know if you're parents, but the way you love your children, when you see your children do stupid, self-destructive things, that's sin. That's sin. Where you're not remaining in the world of love and flow and outpouring, but you pull back or push back, where you choose negativity, where you choose to be judgmental or hateful. You see, that's sin. So again, what I said about prayer being a state, I'm going to say the same thing about sin. Sin is not, first of all, bad actions. The bad actions that we've all been warned against, the Ten Commandments, for example, I certainly hope you don't do those, but those are actually symptoms of sin. What's the state of sin is the state of living outside of union with God. Whenever you live as if you're separate or superior, thinking you're separate from God and you're better than other people, that's the state of sin. Now, when you're in that state of sin, the state of separateness or the state of ego superiority, that I'm higher than you are, you're going to likely do stupid things like steal and lie and commit adultery and covet your neighbor's wife or goods, the Ten Commandments so-called. So sin is resisting the divine flow of infinite love, do you see? And standing outside of it. And whenever you do that, you are going to do sinful things. So I'm not denying, don't let anybody say he's throwing out sin. In fact, I'm making the concept of sin much more everywhere. Much of humanity lives in the state of sin. But this is also why Jesus is so patient with sinners, because he knows, as he says on the cross, Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. Most people don't know what they're doing. And let me end with that whenever you sin, whenever you do evil, you're basically momentarily unconscious. If you were always perfectly conscious, remember I said God, consciousness, and love are the same thing. Right? Whenever you're in the state of divine love or consciousness, you would never do something like lie or steal or cheat. It wouldn't make sense to you, as it probably doesn't to you. That's not in your norm of behavior. You understand? Which means you're probably not in the state of sin. Do you see? So what we call sin, to repeat, is more often than not a symptom of sin. These naughty behaviors that we all fall into. And I admit they're naughty. They don't help the world at all. But when we just concentrate on stop stealing and stop lying, instead of stop living out of divine union, we miss the point. We miss the deeper state of union, which is what we talked about in mysticism.